presented by the PlayStation 4.
The 16 best teams in the world
with $700,000 up for grabs. Every day, these guys are grinding, they're practicing, they're strategizing, they're waiting for this.
We have got the world's elite here. This is the final stage in the Global Pro League. This is do or die.
I think people are going to come with a purpose. It honestly could be anyone.
There's going to be a lot of competition.
We're playing the best teams in the world, so every match is a grind.
Varsity's locking this down for eUnited.
Oh my God! They just smoked them!
That's going to be enough for Red Reserve to make it to stage 2.
What? Win the game in the most dramatic fashion!
Anything in this game could happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Call of Duty Global Pro League presented by PlayStation 4. We are live with Week 3, Day 2 here at the Stage 2 of the CWL and cannot wait for the day's action to get underway. Of course, my name is Betts. I'm going to be hosting the studio throughout this weekend, and joining me is my fantastic panel of experts. As always, we have Call of Duty World Champ Teep, former European professional player Memo, and at the far side, of course, we have Call of Duty XP champion Merc. But before we start the day, we should really recap exactly where we are. Obviously, we had a ton of games yesterday, so without further ado, let's take a look at our group standings. Of course, yesterday finished in emphatic style, Merc. eUnited, they just gave Splice the hands.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. It was a beatdown. I mean, eUnited playing so well on day number 1. They were tested at first by Rise. I mean, I think a series Rise should have won. Rise has a bad day, 0-2. Red Reserve, though, they're able to bring it back into 1-1. They also challenged Splice a little bit.
They did.
I mean, eUnited, they looked damn good on day 1.
They definitely did. Of course, a lot of eyes were on Clayster coming into the day, and I think he performed extremely, extremely well. But in terms of Red Reserve, Memo, of course, you are the European expert here on the desk. I mean, what is their potential? Are you now looking after day 1's performance thinking, yeah, these guys are going to qualify for Stage 2 playoffs?
You're looking at Red Reserve, and you're looking at a team that can beat anyone else in this pool right now. You know, they've gone to 2 Game 5s already. They've shown their class. They've shown that they're here to kind of, battle with the best. And they're in a very, very tough group. Remember, a lot of people are calling this the pool of death. But I think, you know, today could be a defining point of where they stand at the end. And I think this is such an important day, which obviously we'll get into. But I think these games coming up, I think their frustration is they feel that they should have won against Splice and they should be 2-0. So we'll see how it pans out for them. But they're a contender to come top 2 for sure.
Obviously, I mentioned Clayster's fantastic performance yesterday, Teep. I know you, in terms of who impressed you yesterday, he was your pick.
Oh, you have to pick Clay. He was he's the new player on the roster, obviously. And the fact that he's able to step up in that communication role, the leader of the team. Look at that KD. He's #1 in hardpoint and uplink leaderboard, so the respawn's absolutely dominating. That Slayer stat, he's contributing so much in that regard. And then Search and Destroy, he's tied for 2nd on the First Blood leaderboard. So you can't really ask for more from an individual player, especially, you know, a lot of pressure was on him with this roster change going down. What was going to bring to the table? eUnited has been a very strong team throughout this year, and the fact that he's able to come in here and they just look so strong. They take down arguably, you know, a top 2 team in Splice yesterday and make it look so damn easy. He's got the guys yelling. He's got the Twins playing better than ever. Man, they're rolling.
Twins are definitely nasty, that's for sure. Memo, no surprise really in terms of your pick. You've got an eUnited as well. But interestingly, you actually stuck with the same player that you picked yesterday.
Yeah, I kind of said going into this week he was my player to watch. And, you know, coming out of this as well, he played, you know, some great Call of Duty. I think Tyler, obviously the pick of Clayster, you can't really doubt that. You know, you could have picked most players from eUnited, but some had their sloppy games, some had their good games. But for me, Prestini, he kind of showed, even through the losses as well, on the Frost uplinks, he was dropping nearly 40. He was carrying on some of the respawns as well. His S&D KD, a lot of people will look at and kind of be a bit worried about. For me, he's always kind of come good towards the end of the tournaments, and his S&Ds, for examples, you know, against the Optics and in kind of your open tournaments, has been really, really good. So that's one point that I want to look at going into today. And at the end of the day, I'd like to kind of recap that, and hopefully he's stepped that up a bit.
Mark, I know you were a big fan of the Twins yesterday from
Twins
United.
are nasty, Ben.
They are very nasty.
Twins are nasty.
Sure. Who'd you pick?
Well, another United player. I went with Arcitys. Pristini and Arcitys, obviously they are the Twins and they're nasty. But as you can see, I mean, Play sort of led the team, but I think Arcedes, this was another player that we just weren't sure coming into the week. I mean, again, bringing Clayster, Arcedes was the main NV4. How are they going to respond?
Right.
He's sort of that secondary K-bar. We saw at times he would struggle, but he would get streaky very fast. I think Arcedes just sort of the most consistent player for eUnited all year long. Impressed a lot of people. So just, again, a solid performance on day number 1 for him.
The eUnited sweep in terms of who has impressed you guys. Now let's get to the flip side of the coin. Who needs to step up? Teep, I want to start this with you.
I think an obvious choice is Felony on the side of Rise. When they picked this guy up, this sort of circle of players going back to last year in Black Ops 3, he's supposed to be that main slayer, the aggressive sort of sub guy. But going back to yesterday, those hard points were just abysmal overall. Granted, they should have had a much better series versus Splice in my opinion, but regardless, a loss is a loss. That Slayer number at only 18 is just pretty pathetic at that point. And then Felony kind of was known for his search and destroy when he came onto the pro scene. A .55 search and destroy KD, just not really cutting it for this squad. Looney seemed to be the only one that was consistent on the side of Rise yesterday, but the fact that Fellow isn't there to be that sort of slaying duo is a huge problem for them. They're lacking the slaying power. It's due to him.
Yeah, they definitely need him to step up, that is for sure. Momo, in terms of your pick, I know you were pretty vocal yesterday about Joe. Obviously, a little bit of history there between yourself and him. Is he going to be your pick?
He absolutely is. Joe, for me, I saw one very, very, very good game out of Joe yesterday, but one is not good enough. I think Joe, for me, is a player, much kind of like Teep said about Felony, he was a superstar of 2016. You know, he really was, and going into this, your Slayer rating's 19, you know, KD's 0.5, 0.8, whatever it may be. It's just not good enough, and Joe should be that player who is leading the aggression. And for me as well, he is an S&D player. He's a very, very strong S&D player, and I don't know where that's gone. I expect more from him. If he does pick it up today, I can see them going 2-0.
Fair enough. Moving forward, Merc, in terms of your pick, I'm very surprised to see this name written down, not because of his performance yesterday, just because of the caliber of player that we saw. Of course, this is our Stage 1 MVP. You went at 0.
Yeah, he had a rough day. I mean, he was my player to watch coming into the weekend. And day number 1, as you can see, a .85, 0.65 in S&D.
Ouch.
Even that Slayer number to me, under 20 for 0, that's not good enough. I mean, even if you look at his first game on Retail Hardpoint, he goes, what, 31 and 18? So he has that to boost his stats, and he still ends up with a .85. It's just a very rough day for Splice. Again, they got pummeled by eUnited, and even by Red on that breakout where they got 100-point club. So just a rough few games from him. Definitely looking at him to step it up.
Yeah, Splice need to come out all guns blazing on day 2 here, that is for sure. And as you said, Zero with some pretty shaky search and destroy performance. Start off 0-6 as well in one of those S&Ds, very un-Zero-like. So really keep your eyes out for him to step things up. But now we'll take a look at our schedule here for day 2 of week 3. We're kicking things off with eUnited versus Red Reserve. Then we have Splice versus Rise Nation before we have the Battle of Europe once again at 5 p.m. as Splice take on Red Reserve. And to close out the day, eUnited versus Rise. We'll touch on that first game, of course, eUnited versus Red Reserve. Momo, curious to actually get your thoughts on that one. Is this one that you realistically think Red Reserve can steal?
Realistically, yes, they can.
Wow.
If we get the same eUnited as yesterday, no, they can't. I just think if they bring that same hype, that energy, eUnited should run away with it. The problem is if, you know, we have a slow start from Silly.
Right.
You know, if we get that again, Red Reserve, they're going to take advantage.
Very, very true. Here's a look at our maps, of course, Teep. I mean, how does this look for eUnited?
Well, going back to last night, I'm going to give that Scorch hard point, obviously, to eUnited, just stomping out Splice. But I think really the Search and Destroy, I don't know if eUnited is going to be, you know, have all those strategies set out quite yet on Crusher. So I'm leaning towards eUnited in this one. I'll give the Search to Red Reserve 3-1 for eUnited.
Well, first game of the day about to get underway. We can send it down to our fantastic casters for the series. It's Maven and Courage.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah, I'm kind of a Momo. Yes, Red Reserve can win the series, but it will be through a Game 5. We know their their Dallas run, their Anaheim run here so far today. It is all done through Game 5s. I think they can push the series a distance.
What's interesting for Red Reserve is they come out of yesterday, they beat a Rise Nation team, right? Gives them their 1 series victory. Earlier in the day, though, they dropped that Game 5 to Splice. They're still kicking themselves for that one, I can tell you that. I think they come out of it almost a little bit disappointed that they weren't 2-0, but we do see the caliber of this team. We cannot count them out. They are absolutely far and away better than Elevate, which we saw last weekend. At times, we put that Elevate team just below them in the tiers of European Call of Duty squads.
It's a new day.
It is.
But what's scary? The last time we saw this eUnited team on Scorch, what happened, Jack?
Well, there's already 4 dead, a kill from everybody from eUnited. You mentioned what happened. Well, they got 5 times the score of Splice, 250 to 50 on that map. It was literally the last map they played last night, and they have not skipped a beat to here with a flawless break, literally the most perfect break I have ever seen on Scorch Hardpoint.
Yeah, it's like not only do you win through, you flip the spawns as well.
That is the perfect ideal situation for them to have off the break.
Red Reserve does come back in, at least crack in to find some time in the hardpoint, but they're going to need to try and fight through here and take over control for the turbine spawns. Unfortunately for them, the kill feed all blue as eUnited continues to roll. Silly yet to die.
So things to take note of if you didn't get to catch too much of eUnited's action as well as Red Reserve yesterday. First off, go watch the VODs. They've all been uploaded. Shout out to Nick for his work with that one. He's been making sure that every day you can immediately go watch every match that happened in the Pro League. So go take a look at those. eUnited, Silly's ERAD was absolutely on fire. 4-0 already off the break of this game. Pristini was playing with all the confidence in the world, challenging gunfights just like that, whether it was with the ERAD, with the K-Bar, he was getting it all done. Arcitys was consistent, especially when playing that slower style, and Clayster was back in pure Clayster form. Everyone was firing.
And eUnited should get all the time here. I mean, they've gotten into a position where they pushed out so far that they even, after a couple players drop, they're still able to spawn back, but now the pressure comes in. This is where Red Reserve has to break. Arcitys just spawned out the entire way across the map. All the pressure now going to fall on Silly. He's tagged up, but still up. Last man is going to be raided from Red Reserve. They break through with 20 seconds remaining.
That happens because Pristini has an awful timing inside of that main warehouse building. The trade goes in favor of Red Reserve because as Pristini goes to check lower lab door, he sees no one there, turns. When he turns his back, the player runs on through and shoots him.
It's fine, though. With 20 seconds left,
absolutely.
Flip the spawns. Now you have hanger control, so it ends up working out okay. As long as they can pick off Shawnee, though. He is the one man here to try and fight, but you have everybody from eUnited stacked in the back. Silly. 8-1. We talked about the slow start he had yesterday to kick off the day. This is almost literally the exact opposite.
We're seeing so far that a lot of these maps this weekend have been dominated by who has the better ERADs, right? When you think of what we saw from Splice on Frost Uplink, when they had, you know, Jerd and Zero flying forward as well as Bance with a triple ERAD presence, they looked almost untouchable. No one could match them in their shots and aggression. You now think of eUnited inside the hard point. When you have Silly starting off at 8-2, already a minute in the hill, it's because it's just him straight up killing anyone who challenges him inside the objective.
And on the other side of this, Jack, I mean, Red Reserve's got to try and find early control somewhere, because each time had they been able to ultimately break through, yes, but not until 20 seconds left in the hard point. 25 seconds left. You can't give all the opening time to eUnited, otherwise you're slowly going to bleed out.
Here's their best chance at, as you mentioned, early control. They have 3 players here at Drill. It's going to be a 4v4 retake opportunity from the side of eUnited. Scarab, the first thing coming out, tagging up 2 players. Yep, there you go. Beautiful grenade from Silly. There's a 3-piece as well. That is the communication of eUnited that you love to see already. Flechette out from Silly cleans up 2. Doesn't get much easier than that.
Yeah, that early control from Red Reserve was enjoyed for approximately 5 seconds. That was a nice combination there. The nade plus the Scarab bust on through, and now it's eUnited's turn to try and hold, but a 2-piece from Shawnee looks to open things up. He's gotten into observation deck now.
eUnited were not ready for the timing of Red Reserve to have split spawns right there. Simple as that. They had a player pushing through observation deck. They thought that entire side of the map was clear. It was Shawnee who was the thorn in their side. 10-7 now from him. Interesting to see the ERAD brought out by Shawnee, but he's a player that has continued to develop as this year goes on. I mean, hey, his shot's looking lights out right now. 12-7, gets the assist there as well. He's leading his team in time, doing it all right now for the side of Red Reserve.
And just to talk kind of overall storyline for Red Reserve this weekend, you know, they do their job yesterday. They win a lot of maps. They end up 5-5, but they get the 1-1 split they needed. The scary part, though, is today you come in with, I think what we would agree is their hardest day. You play eUnited, you play Splice. You can't go 0-2. Do you still have a chance if that happens? Sure, most likely you do, depending on the outcomes of the other matches, but you need to get a 1-1 split again. Do you expect a lot of days for Red Reserve here to go 2-0? No, I personally don't. You just have to take one of these series.
Well, this is their toughest day. Not only do they face eUnited now, but they face Splice later on today in their rematch. Rated said it yesterday. They've got to go big on day 2, and it could start off with a hardpoint map victory here. They're only down by 15 seconds, even with how perfect of a start eUnited had in this map. Whoa, what was that, Pristini, as he gets lost right there. 113-103, Red Reserve have brought it within 10.
Well, you know the recipe for success for this team. You know, you end up having to steal away one of those respawns, and they've been very, very good in search and destroy. Almost going 2-0 yesterday. But let's see what Silly can do on the side for eUnited. Trying to crack into Turbine. He'll be the first one.
Biggest standout right now on the scoreboard, Clayster, who was mentioned by our analysts as having a, players who impressed title from day 1, as well as the top hardpoint KD of the weekend. Currently 7-14, only 7 seconds in the hardpoint. Right now, just having a game where things aren't really going in his favor.
He's a new guy on the roster. I think you're going to have some poor maps, and we already talk about how streaky Clayster can be at times. He seems to destroy or at times get destroyed. Right now, having a tough one, but lead change incoming. That final tick puts Red Reserve now in front with 35 seconds remaining here. High off the wall run, Shawnee catches Clayster with his pants down, but his teammates able to find a few. Urban trying to hold on, a big two-piece, pistol out now, all three down. Magical stuff there from Urban.
If you're just learning about Urban as a player, the man has one of the best pistol shots in definitely Europe, the European players will say. But then he could rival that of Nagafen, who many North American pro players say has the best trigger finger in, well, North America. So that's what I want. I want to see a 1v1 battle between them, just pistols, see who can take that title. But right now, the man's on a 5 streak. It's Red Reserve up by their biggest lead of the game. They've been lights out from the last time we were in Hangar. They've won every single hill.
Well, they're waiting to try and push through. Urban was the one racking up the remaining time in Turbine. As soon as he comes over, they're going to try and make a play, but Arcity's peeling faces right now.
Talk about knowing certain spots and angles on this map. There's a window in that back L-wall tunnel that you can shoot right on through. Arcity's, his job still to watch this back cut area. 157 to 145. eUnited keeping this one close.
And I think maybe the push a little bit hesitant because Urban's still working on those streaks. You know, you just don't want to fly into a pre-aimed Arcity's. But Rated is the one able to get the break. And yeah, look, he's 25 off this Trinity. So he's been playing his life to a degree, allowing his teammates to push in front. They've done their job. The break is in. They've got 20 more seconds here. They can soak up, but falling just a bit short of the streaks is Urban.
Was actually surprised to see him push up like that. I get there's only 15 seconds left, but I will say, just starting now to hear Clayster get louder and louder for this team, yelling, "Let's go, boys, let's get this started." And you wonder why that's maybe happening? Well, it's because he's on a 4 streak, finally showing some life. You mentioned the streaky play. Maybe now he heats up, because we all know eUnited do need him. 2 kills on rotation. They're now looking for the 3rd. Last time they had a flawless break on Drill. It looks like that'll be the same case here if Clayster can stay alive.
He's still up, and he's got 2 teammates here to work with. Everybody's been cleared outside of Rated. Rated's going to try and make a play, but yeah, there's 3 ready to hunt him down. We may have another lead change here as eUnited controlling Drill.
And look at the pressure they're still putting on. You've got everyone spawning out from Red Reserve. They're doing what they can to at least try to go for a pinch, which is where they really saw success the first time they had to go for a retake of the site. Right now, kills just being traded. They know Urban is still by this observation deck side. There's the cleanup from Clay. He's got 2 streaks as well.
Able to get the Trinity rockets. Falls just a little bit short there of actually picking up the bombardment, but that could be crucial down the stretch as this game has been back and forth throughout. It's Rated and Shawnee inside trying to make plays. Rated tagged up, but not dropped yet. Final ticks should be going to Red Reserve.
And this is Red Reserve right now. People said maybe they had a good day 1. They're able to fight not only against Red Reserve, but Rise Nation. Now here on day 2, the 6-2 map count eUnited team is definitely having some pressure get put on right now. Down by 10 still. Red Reserve seem to be the real deal.
And they're getting outslayed, right? We know how, just over the course of stage 1 and 2, how little teams, if they're getting outslayed, win the actual hard point. Right now they're doing it. Because Joe, again, struggling today. He's sitting right around double negative, but Pristini, man.
He keeps doing that. Him with the backplate, it's like he's able to turn on people 3 times more often. We saw it twice yesterday. There's another one right there. That extra bullet soak and his ability to pre-fire there with the ERAD, he just expects people to chase and they fall right into his trap.
eUnited now with the lead, 20 seconds remaining on bridge. Scarab out, able to tag up a few. Pristini does have camo to work with. You saw Rated with it available on the other side. With a game this close, you got to think about the Trinity rocket available for Clay, and then also those 2 camos. This is going to be big.
Centurion now dropped. Shawnee seeing all these players here from eUnited. Yeah, he's got to dip out and play his life. I love this decision. He's 1 kill off the reactive armor as well. This could be a game-saving play as they try to go for a break. Camo now dead on the side of eUnited. The pressure coming on through. Shawnee gets caught off guard, but he's got some help from Rated. Arcity's now dead. It looks like it's going to come down to a 1-on-1 on the hard point, and it's Joe who stays alive. Centurion now dead. That's the break Red Reserve needed.
Now, this is the big play. Pristini with this camo. He's dead. He's dead. This is huge. You can obviously win it on this hard point right now if you're Red Reserve. Pristini definitely going to get another crack in. His teammates still finding the kills, but the spawns coming in favorable for Red Reserve. Shawnee trying to hold this close edge.
He's got reactive armor as well. He keeps playing these off angles. Reactive armor used. The 3-piece there for the squad. Pristini still with camo. Now he'll elect to pop it. He didn't see the player next to him. FTL jump as well. Oh, no, Pristini! Oh, no! Gets absolutely destroyed!
The only saving grace there for Pristini is he can test long enough. If he doesn't get in at all, you can actually win the game there if you're Red Reserve. And now to the other side, Pristini is set up. They're inside hangar. They're looking to make a play.
That's actually a great point to bring up, Maven. No payloads available for Red Reserve. Don't think there's going to be any... eUnited, they're not looking at their flank. They have nobody watching the flank. They're going to get flooded from every single angle. This game is done. A miscommunication there as Red Reserve exploit it. Nice way to start day 2 for Rated and crew as they're up 1-0. Did no one watching the pinch?
That's the one they needed to win. They needed to get one of these hard points. You know they like to push series the distance. They've been great in search and destroy. They're now the favorites in this series for me, without question.
Yeah.
Getting that 1-0 edge.
Well, eUnited, they start off flat yesterday in the hard point versus Rise. They obviously go down by 100 seconds and make that miraculous comeback, but still here, lacking some energy, maybe not rolling to get the day started. On the side of Red Reserve, they still look consistent. That's what we've seen from them so far this weekend, and honestly, they could very well be not only 2-1, but going into a rematch for Splyce, be hungry for a potential 2-0 day.
And you know, Splyce was frustrated in the day yesterday with how things went after just getting dismantled from eUnited. Very interested to see how they're going to bounce back during matches 2 and 3. But my God, man, that's just such a massive win there for Red Reserve.
Red Reserve and eUnited. It's a matchup that obviously a lot of people were excited for, to see if Red Reserve can match the caliber of slaying that eUnited have. We cut up to the teams prior to this weekend to talk more about it.
Our game plan going into against the United is just play the way we always do. I think individually we are better than them. It's just we've got to start putting things together.
I think the one person on eUnited we have to watch out for is Arcites. From all the VODs I've watched and gameplay I've watched of their team, he's literally unreal. He's their best player by far.
If we can shut down Claystar, I'm sure we could take on both series. After he's been dropped in recent teams, he's just come back with a fire. So
they're going to play fast. They're going to play slay heavy. We just got to make sure we counteract it and play the rotations and play our game.
I really do think we have either the hardest pool or second hardest due to the fact that Red Reserve, I feel, is a top 3 EU team now. That trade that they made with Elevate boosted them way up. They have gone to a completely different level or tier.
Joe and Rated, they're a good duo. I think that they work really well together, and I think them splitting up at the beginning of this year was a really big mistake. Rated's a good AR, man. I've been watching a lot of his gameplay, and he's good at what he does. I think he kind of is detrimental to his team sometimes because he plays on his own little island, like he plays on his by himself, but he's really good at that, and he can get like 2 pieces all the time playing by himself. Actually impressed with the way that they've been playing lately.
All right, you hear it from both sides, how they feel about this particular matchup. But so far, Red Reserve now with the edge. We know there were some heated words back and forth between Clay and Rated to kind of kick off the year. I know that's died down a bit, but just talking about the potential of Clay being on Hot Mic a week ago, he's like, I don't know if you want me on there. I might be roasting too much. So there's still maybe a little fire there.
Yeah, and you know, much deserved respect. Rated is one of the best assault rifle players in Europe. You've got Clayster, one of the best assault rifle players in the history.
He still found a way to take a little bit of a shot there, though, didn't he?
He had to, right? But I actually agree with him, because we talk about Uplink, while he was so good at it back in stage 1, a lot of the times he was just on a different pace than the rest of his team. He was the one pre-aiming with that AR. You thought maybe, hey, you know, they would love to have him pushed up with the rest of the squad going for scores. Here we go, Clayster going in towards A, a little bit of an unorthodox play with the sniper as he looks for first blood.
They're getting aggressive quickly, not able to hit the shot, had the angle for just a moment. Let's see who's going to find this opening first blood. On with Pristini.
And already the retake trying to come on through from Red Reserve. You see 3 players storming on through. Joe now near this objective. I love decisions like this. I absolutely love
Pristini might catch him. Pristini might catch him as he comes in from behind.
Oh, Pristini saves the round. Shawnee now by himself in a 1v2. Look at how frantic he looks right now on this wall run with the NV4. Pristini, what a heads-up play. Props to him.
Yeah, he wraps all the way through the flank. Gets him just, I mean, I had to be around 70%. That was very close to finishing. We saw what Rated with a Ninja yesterday.
These guys, they all watch these games. They're up in the pro lounge. You know, he saw Rated's Ninja defuse against Rise Nation in Game 5. Thought, hey, maybe I should check this time around as well.
Well, and you heard the guys on the desk talk a lot last week about, like, it just seems like teams and players aren't willing to hop the bomb ever. It just rarely happens so far this year, trying to catch them off guard.
First round over to eUnited. Remember, Red Reserve do take the hard point if you're just tuning in. They win it by about 21 seconds. Pristini, yeah, he's going to get absolutely swarmed. Some awful timing there as he went to shoulder peek towards hallway. Fortunately, Red Reserve, they were already pushed on up, so this will be a take of the A site and an execution of the bomb being planted. So United are down a man.
A lot of this could end up on the timing here to get for Joe. He's going to be pushing around the backside for the collapse. We hop to Joe right now. I want to see his POV. Joe gets cut up. They check it right when he basically gets there. Clay pushes out the back. Heads up play from Clay.
Clayster with another kill. Shawnee now in a one-on-one. Clayster versus Shawnee. The battle. Clay just being patient. Shawnee goes to the shoulder peak. Clay knows where he is. He's got to chase his kill. Gets 2 bullets in him. He should have enough time. He's got to go for this challenge. Only 10 seconds left. Yeah, he's not going to get back to the bomb in time.
7.5 now. Nope, not in time.
He hovered too long. At that point, you've just basically got to just go for it.
Yeah, it's like he needed, what, just an extra second there. And he'd be able to make the play.
He was basically, in his thought process, he was worried Shawnee would kind of go for, you know, kind of like a fadeaway peek and try to challenge him. Meanwhile, Shawnee knew, if I just stay in this corner, I force Clay to engage onto me. Just so little time left in that round that Shawnee clutches up for his team. It's now 1-1.
Nice heads-up play there from Shawnee. Clayster, back on offense, is going to have the snipe in hand again. Now take a look at the defensive split you have right now. The defensive push, that is, sorry. Pushing towards B.
Split, they are.
Yeah,
holy hands.
As they're hunting towards B. This should be a quick and easy plant for eUnited, and we'll see how they work on the retake for Red Reserve.
Now Clayster's got an awkward job this round. Yeah, look where he now is with the sniper. It's a cheeky little spot. Everyone from Red Reserve storming back through middle map. They have not seen each other yet in this round. Meanwhile, they've traversed the entirety of that B site. No 2-piece from Pristini, and Arcades gets cut down as well. 3v2 Red Reserve.
Silly and Clay looking to try and clutch up. Joe's POV for a moment. Now we're back to Clayster. He's still surviving with the snipe in hand. Silly able to turn this into a 2v2. Only 20 seconds to work with. That's what happens when you get these quick plants down. There he connects. Clay picks up one. Shawnee, now the lone man. Hardly any time to work with.
You think for a second, you're like, you know, Clayster's looking at that situation. Man, I wish I had any other gun but the sniper. But hey, he waits, gets the drop on him. There's the kill. Silly closes out the round. eUnited back in the lead.
And this is the map that you think Red Reserve would come in and take. eUnited looking to just reset this series with a victory in Search and Destroy. Not that eUnited are any slouches, but like Teep said on the desk, not really sure exactly what to expect consistently in Search and Destroy when you add a new guy, Clay, but he's got to be one of the easier players to, you think, put into your system.
What do you do now if you're Red Reserve on offense? Last time you tried to push towards A, you got control of it, you wound up closing out the round. This time it looks like it's going to be a complete swap of their offensive strategy as they look to take control of the outside B site.
This could be a very, very quick round. The Scarab is going to be out. What does it connect with? It gets through, definitely gets some information.
I think it hit Joe. That's why Joe's laying down.
They didn't get enough there that they thought they should push through. Rated is going to get the first blood. Advantage now to Red Reserve. And he's going to be so difficult to kill from this spot. But Pristini able to open things up now for eUnited.
Not only is that huge, but he gets out with his life. They realize no one's in the bomb, so instead of sliding through, he backs up. A second kill now onto Joe. Play your life now. Clayster with the challenge. What a round from Pristini, as he's the reason why eUnited are able to take that one.
It's that confidence he's been playing with. It seemed last night like, what, every single 1v1 gunfight he was in, he was destroying, he was holding forward. We haven't seen him play like that, I mean, since Gunless left. Everyone talked about how he could do the slaying role. You saw it.
So the amount of times you see players slide on through and basically bait themselves out for their team, that time he knew nobody was on the bomb because I think they threw 3 or 4 cluster grenades on it, which forced the players of Red Reserve off, which gave Pristini the peace of mind to slide on through, challenge, and then realize, oh, I can still get out with my life. So he just ran back instead of fully committing towards that site. It's little decisions like that that make all the difference.
And if you know Joe's the one in that spot with how he's been playing compared to how Pristini, I think he just knew for sure that's a gunfight he's taken.
Pristini, not the cleanest kill, but either way, it's a first blood. 3 on 3, and again, the bomb planted from eUnited.
Silly with FTL to work with. 2 players from Red Reserve mid-map. They're going to push now through you. And they give their team the advantage. Time on the clock dwindling due to another quick plant. Shawnee trying to hunt, and they're just going to stick it again. I don't think there's anybody who's got an angle on this.
FTL jump from Silly! Silly, again, they realized, wait, something's wrong here. There's 3 alive, we're only seeing 2. Look at the smile on his face. You see the FTL jump there. Again, charges right towards that bomb. That's 2 rounds now that are saved by heads-up plays as Red Reserve try to stick to the fuse.
Pristini goes big in one, Silly in another. Yeah, the round count could be very different here depending on a couple attempted defuses from Red Reserve.
It's smart. You saw Red Reserve try to ninja yesterday. It worked for them, so like, let's keep trying it. And when there's 3 players alive and only 2 are challenging, and this is a pro team you're facing, you know something's up.
Shani and Urban were pushing mid-map. They get one, but it's even very quickly. 3 versus 3. eUnited just 2 more rounds needed here to tie up the series at 1-1. Pristini on the hunt. Spots one, gets picked off, though. That's the MV4 Shani coming up huge. Clayster, though, quickly answering back before dropping. Arcity's now in a 1 versus 2. Bomb yet to be planted for Red Reserve.
He's had a quiet map so far, but 3 plants. Unfortunately, I think Joe is going to be the one that makes all the difference here. Is oh, he didn't spot him. He didn't spot him. Still possible for Arcities to do this, as again an awful timing for Joe. Nice job.
Holding the edge there, he had no chance.
Yeah.
No chance. Patience from Red Reserve pays off in a must-win round that draws it to 4-2. And he's on his belly for quite a while there. You see Arcities come out.
I think I heard Arcities yell like, what? Like, why is he there? Sort of thing. Because their goal, if you're wondering, you know, what were those angles that were just being held by Red Reserve, they said, let's just play their spawn. We have time. Let's see if we can catch him rotating from either site. That time, they have Joe watching the entire back garage, top bridge, and underpass.
To be
and
fair,
all Urban has to do is watch one door.
How different is that played by certain teams? In a 2v1, they just hunt together, make sure they trade out the kill. Red Reserve plays it a bit slower, and you can tell. Throws off Arcities for sure. Kills going back and forth very quickly. Suddenly, Clayster, last man up. Pistol out, sniper out. Saw one cross. He was not spotted. Can he get some magnificent timing here?
There's one. Reactive armor. He knows the second player's behind him, too. That position was given away. And there's still 53 seconds left. Clayster can cut down one without being hit and then just challenge a final gunfight with reactive armor. This is his round to take.
See where Bomb is down. He's backtracked here now to pick it up.
Oh, this timing's going to be awful.
They should catch him here.
Awful.
Can he somehow hop off the bomb?
Nope.
He's still up. They just spotted him. He's dropped. Another round for Red Reserve.
Surprised he went to plant in the open on Warehouse when he knew that they were on his side of the map, or at least last saw them there. You know, if he plants in that back pocket, gets that bomb down, has a chance to at least get out with his life or use the reactive armor. Red Reserve keeping it close.
Yeah, I mean, he's in trouble regardless, but at least give him a chance, right?
Absolutely.
To try and make a clutch play.
And we know everything in the world.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you think he knew the last time they were anywhere on the map that they saw him, it was on their own side. So might as well play where you're as safe as possible from that area.
Defensive split across both bomb sites in mid right now for eUnited. A flood pushing through. Remember, Pristini got caught in a position similar to that a few rounds ago. This time gets away with his life.
Brilliant job right there. He shoulder peeks again just to get enough information for his team to say, hey, 3 were just pushed up. Now they've already retaken that site, so watch these eUnited blue arrows. They should not stop moving. They should just do whatever they can to trail the pressure towards B. If you're Red Reserve now, this is playing very similar to Retaliation when you have the bomb and wrap through that back bridge area. They've got to keep moving or else I think they're going to get pinched on the site and overwhelmed.
Shani's nade backs them up at least for a moment to let him get away with his life. You saw the crazy 3 kills from Cade in a similar spot last week. Can Shani go big? He's got the help of Joe. 3 kills away of Red Reserve. Silly, last one up, and that is 3 rounds in a row for Red Reserve.
Because they don't hesitate on planting that bomb, they're able to go ahead, refocus their attention towards that side of the map and have a 4v4 gunfight engagement where it was up to eUnited to push through the choke point. If they wait to plant, even a couple seconds or send one player to rocks, that's a completely different round. Nice job, too, by the player that was on those back pallets to not get first blooded. They see the players, but instead fall back, play their life, wait for help to come.
All tied up, 4-4. Pristini, just a kill off camo.
This is 3 rounds now where he's had that same 1 kill off camo discrepancy.
Well, let's see if he can pick it up here, but first blood is going to go to Shani. Clayster still has reactive to work with. Pristini has tied it up and earned the camo. Clay should have an easy kill. Can he get the second? Yes, he does. One more player remaining. It's going to be Joe. Joe, nothing to work with, and he is dropped. That's a big round. You just let 3 go to Red Reserve. You needed to get that victory. Things were starting to get scary. The pressure was building.
Clay, who was honestly doing a fine job with the sniper, was 9-5. The one round he decides to get aggressive. Boy, oh boy, does it pay off right there with the pinch.
Well, he doesn't get both those kills. Well, I guess he might if he swaps to the pistol and the player was weak, but much easier play, certainly having MV4 in hand.
Oh, the Clayster sign still alive and well.
I have a Clayster poster on my wall.
You probably don't.
I do.
But actually, you are pretty weird, so I would believe that.
I am.
As your Clayster poster will wait for you to get on home. He'll be on the main stage trying to clutch up against Red Reserve. 5-4, eUnited down 0-1 in the series. Win this round here to tie it back up.
Urban now gotten into the pocket, has FTL to work with. Now look at Rated. He's pushing all the way through the A side. He's been able to spot Pristini. Pristini, once again, getting information on his side of the map, making sure he stays alive. Joe now planting the bomb for Red Reserve in a must-win round.
This is so smart. That little bit of a distraction from Rated keeps just enough eUnited attention towards A to free up a plant. Clayster had no idea it was going down.
Well, they now get it planted. You've got two people hawking across the flank. That's going to be Shawnee with the opening kill. Raid's still going to be there to follow it up once he gets involved in the action. You've now got two players left. The FTL goes through. First kill, second kill.
How does Urban live through all that?
The FTL. He FTL'd behind both, I think.
How? I thought the help was going to be too late. We're going to around 11. You see it again here. Honestly, the majority of the reason why I know it's Urban is because you see that pistol firing. He gets in those scenarios where it's like up close and personal. I'm just going to hip fire the pistol and hope that I can unload enough bullets to kill both players.
It wouldn't be a series if it wasn't one that seemed to go the distance and we weren't looking at round 11s. Red Reserve's bread and butter. Can they clutch up in another one? But remember, you have
camo.
Oh, I didn't even realize Pristini popped camo, but you still have reactive here for Clay. Shawnee, reactive on the other side. That's all there is to work with.
It's going to be a reactive take of the site. That's simple as that.
Just got to make sure if you're Clay or Shawnee, you cannot drop before you get that off. You don't want to pop it when you're even weak. Make sure it's used preemptively to find a kill. What does Clay do? First kill goes to Urban. Answers back, pops the reactive, wins the second gunfight. Now popped on the other side is Shawnee. Shawnee wins it quickly at 1v1. It's going to all be on Rated. He can't win it. eUnited take the round 11.
Silly as he's floating backwards off the map, secures the kill. And now this series is much more winnable for eUnited as they've clutched up in Search and Destroy.
That's a painful one for Red Reserve, too. You feel like, if you take that search, you guarantee yourself a Game 5 worst-case scenario. Now, eUnited, they've reset the series, get hyped up here a little bit. That was a fun one.
It's a perfect example of the verticality we've seen introduced not only last year, but this year as well. You see kind of Rated go to hover back, thinks he's down by the crate. Instead, he's just out of his view. Above him there, clutch play by Silly to close that round out.
Series tied at 1 apiece. It's Uplink up next. We'll see you after this quick break.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's our first G Fuel key player matchup of the day, and we've got to compare arguably the two biggest difference makers for their team in uplink so far this weekend. You see the stats from yesterday alone. Pristini, the 1.07 uplink KD, consistent with his aggression on the map, 8 points to show for it. A big reason why eUnited were looking good in the game mode yesterday. On the other hand, Rated, who was one of the standout uplink players in Stage 1, had quite the flat day. Wasn't as consistent in that KD. I believe he had like a 1.3 throughout his Stage 1 weekend. There, a 0.98 needs to turn things around. If Red Reserve want to go big and take the series lead, they just lost a heartbreaking round 11. We'll see how they bounce back now in Game 3. This has been your G Fuel key player matchup.
We are back. Series tied at 1-1. And if you're looking at Red Reserve, they've yet to take an uplink so far this weekend. They need it here.
They have yet to take an uplink. The crazy note to bring up either way. What a rough way to lose that round 11 down to one final kill. Here we go, though the game already starting. I'm loving this pace we're setting right now. Red Reserve, eUnited in Game 3, tied up 1-1.
On board with our cities now. They'll be rocking the K-bar for this team. Clayster taking over NV4 duties, but it is all Erad so far in the kill feed until Silly can answer back from top ticket. Just trying to play a little defense and play his life as the pressure coming forward very quickly for Red Reserve. Rated, drone in hand. The dish, the shiny, the slam. 2-0 lead in the opening 30 seconds for Red Reserve.
2-0, and they're going to keep the pressure. Dude, Shawnee's Erad is actually really, really good. From seeing it in map 1. And just to start here, 4-0. He started map 1 4-0 as well.
Well, it's impressive, too, because he's a guy that was running the NV4 a lot for teams throughout the course of this year. Yep. Rated joins the squad. Rated's obviously going to be your main AR. And Shawnee, like you said, yeah, he's been doing a lot of work with it. It's been great to see.
Just someone that continues to impress me the more I see him play. Definitely think he has a bright future in the European Call of Duty scene. Can he translate over to wins this weekend? We'll have to find out. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Red Reserve versus eUnited. eUnited 2-0 atop this group after day 1. Red Reserve 1-1. They lost a tough Game 5 to our Stage 1 champion, Splice, and then took care of business against Rise Nation later in the day.
Oh, just think about, like, all right, so let's say Red Reserve take this series, and then Rise bounce back today. Like, we could be in store for an insane day 3.
Oh, gosh. That's all I dream of. I mean, there was opportunity for every team being tied at 1-1 yesterday if some of the matches obviously swapped around, which would have been a crazy scenario because I don't even know if that's ever happened so far in the CWL.
I don't believe so.
League this year.
On board with Silly from eUnited. High off the wall run, but not able to make a play. Arcides surviving for a while, but finally will be dropped. You've got 2 down for either side. Drone still at mid-map. Everyone right now is kind of trying to fight for position here.
eUnited do wind up winning the trade, and because of that, they have control of Lemon. But as you see there, Joe fires right back with the Erad, keeping the aggression towards that side of the map. So I do like the bike path play from eUnited, trying to put pressure towards that area, gives them that forced out spawn towards field. Got to give props out to Red Reserve on their ability to recover and stop the drone from going on through. They will hold on to their lead, but as I say that, there are now 4 dead, and it's time for eUnited to go on the offensive.
Back and forth battle so far. Pristini looking for an opening, just saw one cross. Hits the split, hits the toss. 1 point game now. Nice little counter attack there from eUnited.
Clean as it gets with that throw right into the center of the portal. Nice job by him. Red Reserve, again, stopped the bleeding. So while that was not ideal to have the 1 point play go in, at least there's nothing else to be rallied on the side of eUnited. A very even slaying match so far, outside of Rated, who's currently just 1-5.
I'm making a change to uplink rules.
Yeah?
It's 3 for a dunk, and you get 2 points for a toss if it's like 100% accurate. It's like a swish.
Okay.
Extra points.
So
that'll be the next update.
Dunks are now 3-point plays.
I like the ones like that was really clean. Like you pointed out, it's funny because you always see the ones that barely clip the edge. Like that was a really nice toss.
He looks well practiced. Yeah. The man's looking great this weekend so far, Pristini. Shout out to you. Clayster just camping in a corner, waiting to see if people walk across his screen. And unfortunately, it's Shawnee who reads them like a book. The Erad shreds yet again.
It's a very, very common spot. You see it get sniffed out with ease by Red Reserve.
1-6 from Rated.
2-6 now. But yeah, it's crazy. You keep talking about the uplink stats, but the story hasn't been, you know, his dominance right now with the MV4. It's been those E-Rads, and Urban also with the K-Bar, just doing work and trying to tag in more points. Unfortunately, Drone's still back at mid, but Urban doing whatever he can to leave openings now for his teammates to make a play. Can they get the Drone in a forward position? The answer is no, because you've got Clayster on the other side who's pushed the entire way through. He applied pressure on the Red Reserve spawners the entire time, so Urban's kills end up kind of for naught.
Analytic Maven. You really are turning over a new league.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm still a crazy old man.
You haven't told the world, but you're about to go on a 45-day cleanse.
Hey, I'm going to Punta Cana for a wedding kind of soon, and I can't look disgusting.
We also have an event called Champs coming up, which I think you want to look at.
That's true, but I don't have to have my shirt off in the ocean for that. Well, then again, we'll be in Florida.
Come on out. Tickets now available. MLG.tv/CWL Champs.
35 seconds now remaining in the first half of Uplink. It has been a very low-scoring affair.
Got a plug.
But you still have the, I need hair plugs.
Oh, God. Silly now dead. 2-1 still for Red Reserve. Maybe a long one throw again from Pristini. Intercepted. Nice job. Believe that one was rated on the side of Red Reserve, who keeps us a 1-point lead for Red.
And those are very crucial in such a low-scoring and close game. Nice pick. Can they do it again? Another toss away. Another interception. Red Reserve doing just enough on defense to survive a late onslaught in the first half from eUnited.
Wow. They outplay for the most part for, what, 4.5 minutes on that side? Nearly give up 2 1-point throws, but that is something that we've got to keep in mind as the game goes on. If this remains close, that is a big, big swing on this map.
See the shot of the eUnited crew as we get ready to go into second half. And I'll tell you what stands out a little bit to me versus last night. Do they seem a little bit quieter maybe? I know obviously maybe they were a little bit more amped up for that series versus Splice just due to the importance of it ending the day, but I haven't really heard that much out of them compared to
yesterday. Yeah, they definitely are quieter. I mean, even the general manager of eUnited, famous pro Call of Duty player.
Well, that's debatable.
Burns, now retired, probably for the better because woo, his career was going downhill.
Retired a few years too late.
Yeah, right. But no, back to what we were talking about. He was mentioning how loud they were getting to the point where Clayster and his hype was actually even pushing Arcity to get louder than normal. The rest of the team to get louder than normal. And obviously they use that momentum to play very confidently. Can't say the same so far today.
And on the side of Red Reserve, I'll tell you what, it has been, and I'm sure it's happened for many players, but I swear Joe is just all over the place for me. Like, it's like he's literally either double negative or having a great game and like leading the team.
Oh.
It's been kind of insane to see so far.
Silly's throw is missed as well. So that's another 1-point play that should have gone in. Or they should have actually had, but instead it is stopped. eUnited, their own worst enemy right now, it seems, in this uplink.
Yeah, and Joe, man, he just spawns out towards Courtyard, immediately just pushes through Barn, wraps in from behind, and those are the easy kills, and that's why Throwback is a very difficult map to play. You have to be disciplined. You have to have eyes on every single lane. Otherwise, you'll get flanked very easily. There's been a couple interceptions for Red Reserve. Now one on the eUnited side, though.
Yep, Marcides making sure this stays a one-possession game. Pristini furthest pushed up. He's the lead blocker, now 16 and 15. Arcides does get around the corner, tries to throw the one. Ooh, barely gets it in. Was kind of a panic throw there, but he will bring it back to a 1-point game.
Setup at mid-map will be silly.
See, they're not watching these overextensions. They keep getting shot in the back. It's something that really plagued Optic Gaming earlier this year on this exact map in game mode.
I mean, to be fair, it's been happening to both sides. If somebody's been able to sneak through, if they spawn out kind of that blue or silo side and come and make a play, just wreak havoc in the back line. But a good opportunity for points. I thought that was going right into the feet. Arcees actually looked like he hit his thrust again, maybe thinking it was going up high, just barely slipped in underneath him.
Rated, trying to command middle map. The guy's only 9 and 15, but look at his teammates. They've all eclipsed the 20 kill mark. Finally, he's got double digits. Quiet game from him, but I think this is what Rated really missed with his team back in stage 1 was where, yeah, he would go big, but then where was this slaying around him? Right now, it's a completely different story.
Yeah, we talked about Shawnee early in the game, but he has been a beast with that E-Rad. He's sitting at 25 and 17, leading all Slayers by a significant margin. And now a chance for more points. You've got Overdrive, hit it to the backside of Barn, wrapping around. No one's ready for this, and there's the body block!
Arcides is elite!
That was disgusting. What a play from Arcides, also with an interception to work with. Now the body block. In a game that's 4-2 with 2 minutes left, that is just huge.
Think of this. We've seen a body block and an interception from eUnited, 2 interceptions from Red Reserve. There's almost been more points stopped by great defensive plays than more points scored from solid offense. That's nuts.
It really, really is. Down the stretch, we know it's all going to be about the payloads. Overdrive shutdown. Are they going to be able to slow down a camo player, a reactive player like you have Shawnee here, pushing it towards Lemon? Has a teammate behind him, wins the first gunfight. There should be somebody there to trade it out. That's going to be Rated. Rated tries to get back on the map, but will be taken out.
That's big from Clay. That's big because that 1v1 cuts a lot of the middle map pressure out from Red Reserve. They only have one player pushed up. How does Joe get here? Look at the timing Joe gets. He's about to get another free kill in middle map because he keeps flanking behind eUnited.
Over and over and over again. Joe has been a thorn in the backside of eUnited. 4 now dead.
I think this is some communication issues for eUnited right now on this map. Throwback is a map where if you don't have the lanes covered, if you leave open one area and don't account for it, you will get punished like you're seeing right now from Joe. Also, maybe some miscounting going on. You know, instead of calling out, where's Joe, he's the first off spawn, we haven't spotted him. You know he's been flanking, where is it?
1 point here is huge. Makes it a 2-possession game and another interception. This time from Silly. The drone just got reset. That play keeps them alive here in the final 45 seconds.
There have been 6 points scored total on this map. There have now been 6 points defended by either interceptions or body blocks by these two teams combined. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Still possible for United to come back. They need these kills. And how is Joe in top food again? How does he keep getting there?
Over and over and over again, but you have a lot of payloads to work with. 2 down, 20 seconds on the clock. Overdrive for Arcides. Payloads available for just about everybody. Clay, the only one with it now. Here we go. Time to boost forward. Throws the drone. He drops. Good defense from Red Reserve. This should be their game.
Red Reserve now about to be up 2-1. The drone thrown far away. I've got to give props, to both these teams on defense, but specifically Joe from Red Reserve. He knew something was working. He made sure to be the thorn in eUnited's side. He's the reason this team is now up 2-1.
That was his job there. Yep. Every spawn. Beeline tried to get into the team's back ticket, whether it was going all the way through barn, whatever the play was, sometimes through the mid-cut. He was just getting in behind, shooting teams in the back over and over again. If you're a viewer that's watches for a long time, watch Stage 1, watch Stage 2, it really reminded me of Enigma 6 versus Optic Gaming back in Stage 1, where you could just tell Optic was getting pissed, just shot in the back over and over and over again. Yeah. You saw the look of frustration there kind of in eUnited. It's not fun to deal with.
Yep, and it was Enigma 6 who were one of the better teams at doing that back in Stage 1. It was who Optic really asked. They even asked us, like, what was even happening there? How is that possible? Again, Enigma 6 were great at hitting underpass. Here, Joe was doing a better job of knowing the open windows to hit outfield. There was a couple times where Pristini tried it, but they were very obvious when it was about to happen because he either just got a kill on that side and then tried to push through that bottom train area and just kind of get killed sprinting. That's actually something I've seen a few times from Pristini, which I want to see him improve on, is knowing when it's time to hold down the left analog stick and knowing when it's time to kind of wait for a teammate to be there. Just shoulder peek for a second, see if that lane is clear, because there's a lot of times where he just runs through a choke point and just gets mopped while full sprinting.
Well, you expect series to go to Game 5s with Red Reserve. It's certainly shaping up that way. But I'll tell you what, if you had told me the maps are going to go the way they did, as far as both respawns going to Red Reserve, yeah, I would be like, no, there's just no chance of that happening. And that's not to knock Red Reserve. We know they're a great team. It's just not as good as eUnited looked last night, specifically when you're talking respawns. A bit shocking here, but Clay trying to rally the boys. They started a little bit slow yesterday, not having the best series here so far, but you are certainly alive. And back when Gunless was on the team, eUnited, one of the more famous teams at performing those reverse sweeps. They did a lot during Stage 1. They just never seemed to be out in series. Certainly can't count them out here.
I'm wondering if we hear a different eUnited in this hard point, right? A little bit louder, getting more into it. Shawnee, what a game from him, 1.29 KD. Clayster did what he could, but unfortunately, just not enough points scored.
And as much as Joe was being huge, kind of hitting those flanks, like Shawnee was kind of what opened that up because he was applying so much pressure on the front push and winning so many fights with that ERAD. They were so focused on him hitting front ticket, they weren't ready for Joe coming in the backside. He just kept doing it over and over again. Brilliant play from both those young guys. We'll see if they've got more here for the Game 4.
Again, man, if you want to learn how to play some defense on Uplink, go watch back that map. 4 different players with an interception each. The body block from Arcides on the overdrive player. Just split-second decisions that made that even possible for eUnited to come back. Unfortunately, they fall just short. They never could really get a full offensive play going. They always lost gunfights in middle, and a majority of it was when they would push 4-4, there was Joe in top food, ready to shoot him in the back with the ERAD, and then everything would collapse from there.
Felt like Red Reserve just kind of kept eUnited on their back foot throughout most of that game, and the couple offensive opportunities they would have, like you said, really good defense. They'd find the interception. They'd find that perfect 3-4 down wipe.
even where I thought they had the best opportunity, which is kind of funny now that I think about it, right? Rated has a certain way to play where there's a lane they want to push, and he's the AR that's kind of just slowly inching up, left triggering, getting the kills. That game was so frantic with E-Rads flying around, he could never really know what lane he needed to take control of. Where at the end, I thought United had the best chances when they get 2 dead. They go to push up that one lane, but who's there that gets the 2-piece is Rated with the NV4.
Well, that's where we've seen someone like, Octane jumps to mind, that when you play something like Throwback Uplink, he completely has bike path locked down throughout the most of the game. No one was ever, like you said, able to get that kind of control from either side. Clayster wasn't able to dominate it. Rated wasn't able to dominate it on the other end. Ultimately, though, Red Reserve take it, and they take a 2-1 advantage. Now it's hardpoint 2 retaliation. This is a map where Clayster can shine, and we'll see if he can get amped up, get the boys going.
Can we possibly spot Clayster's loadout here really quick? Want to see exactly what he's running off the break. So yeah, look at how stacked his NV4 is. He had no dead silence on, which is extremely rare. This is a setup that typically you'll only see on the breakup maps like Retaliation, where you know you're just going to be in 4v4 gunfights. The man only ran flak and had as many attachments as possible on his NV4 to make it as lethal as he could be.
Well, he's already got 3 kills in this one early. Both teams able to rack up a decent chunk of time here so far. Lead now to Red Reserve. It's Rated inside, putting some shots into Arcides, but getting away with his life. And being aggressive, yet again, is Joe.
We talked about the E-Rads that have been so good for United so far this weekend. This is a map where you're not going to be seeing too many of them.
I bet you'll be seeing more as this year goes on.
Yeah, right?
After watching Lacefield last week, man.
It always seems to work out that way. Rotation now towards the lower street will be held early by eUnited, but this is no sort of comfortable setup. As you can see, the rest of these players are trying to surge towards this hill.
And it's like the series, it's obviously been Red Reserve favored, and after taking the first hard point, you would like them here, but I just feel like this has to go Game 5. I just feel like it has to. But a couple kills going the way of Joe. He picked up 3 before finally dropping.
Don't forget, that first hard point was only a 20-second game. So these 2 teams were very close in that one. The game 2 goes to round 11. The uplink is 1 possession the entire time. This entire series from start to finish has been down to the wire.
So far, close in this one early. Just under 20 ticks remaining here in the lower street. If you take a look at the minimap, as the spawns do come in, you'll see on the left side there, that's Shawnee popping up, already getting set up for Cathedral. They'll rack up the final bit of time, and now they have to get ready for Bridge. Can Clayster maybe find an opening pick here, try and make a play? There are 3 players set up now on defense for Red Reserve. The final player, Joe, spawns all the way out. Does he get there in time to maybe make a play?
That 1v1 makes this possible for United. Look, you can see the 2 players from Red Reserve having to backtrack, watch their flank. Arcides now pitches on through. Pristini, if he loses that one-on-one gunfight, United don't get a break. But because he does force the attention of the 2 players in red to turn back towards him, this is a completely different story, an example of a kill that could change this map.
I think Pristini got the first kill on Joe that spawned him out as well.
Yep.
So he was the catalyst in multiple ways on getting that breakthrough. Red Reserve still enjoying a bit of a lead. They'll have the setup for the next spawn, but there's still 20 points here. eUnited should be back in control by the time this is said and done. Joe and Urban, though, trying to say differently. They found a couple of kills. Urban's tagged one up in the back, and now he's gotten in. He's going to have a one-on-one gunfight, make it a one-on-2 gunfight here in the back. He's done a good job just contesting so far.
Not him. I want to die there, right? Well, look where he just spawned. He just spawned all the way up at the new hard point. Can wind up helping his team now. As Red Reserve will have a number advantage for the moment. Clayster trying to push on through that. For me, that wasn't the best decision.
Let's see where he's
got no help from his team.
Yeah,
he needed to play that much more passively. He's flying in there with an NV4.
And now you've got, what, basically a solid 15 seconds for him to traverse the map before you have the chance at a 4-on-4 retake.
Yep.
And his Rated kills Pristini. It makes things even more difficult, but everybody goes big. Everybody coming through. Urban, the last man up. What can he do? Can he muster some magic here in the backside, or at least play his life as the reinforcements come in?
I will say this is a map where you expect to see success from eUnited, especially when they have one of the better NV4 duos in the game of Clayster and Arcides.
But how huge did Urban just go in the back? To, stay alive. He's the only one up. The only one they can make a play. Gets away with his life, comes back and kills 2. By the time he's finally taken out, the reinforcements have arrived. You end up giving your team probably, what, 20 or so seconds there by making a clutch play.
So they get the last 15 seconds. If he dies there, that 15 seconds goes to eUnited, and we literally have a tied game. That's a 30-second swing that is now the lead for Red Reserve. The final hill in the first rotation is now set on up. There's no one really to blame on either side. It's just Red Reserve doing a better job of getting the kills in the hard point.
Well, we're now into Hotel Hallway. eUnited have a nice setup and are holding strong for now. Shawnee, though, wants to say otherwise. It was with the ERAD last map. Now it's with the NV4. This is where he made his home throughout most of the year, and he is gunning right now. 2, 3, 5 in a row total.
Get out of the hill.
Oh, I was about to say, you don't get out when you're gunning like this. With me
right there, he had a teammate. He's 25 score off of getting that final streak. He gets that guy weak, just get out of there, let your teammates slide and clean up the kill, get the assist. Obviously, again, in the heat of the moment, probably not thinking about that, but it's the little things. Now they don't have a bombardment that I'm sure they wish they had.
Well, Clayster wins the opening gunfight on Bridge to get his team set up for the next hard point. He's trying to push forward for an aggressive position, back up the spawns of Red Reserve. One just went right underneath him. He's going to get picked off.
Saw a shadow.
Pristini survives for a moment, but finally does end up falling. It's just over a 30-point advantage now for Red Reserve. Clayster back in the action. Streaks do end up coming in.
Oh. Arcides headshots Shawnee with that Trinity rocket. That'll leave you with a headache. As now Clayster and crew looking to retake off the streak. Remember, Red Reserve, they still have some to work with as well.
Pristini starting to heat up. Clay, get into a position where you're just annoying, right? You're coming off a spawn, you're trying to get to the fights on Bridge, and you can't even get there because Clay's holding this angle with an NV4. One of the most deadly with it is he keeps just doing damage, right? Just not allowing Red Reserve to get comfortable and at least make a break. Due to his positioning, look, they all have to try and flood through mid. They give it up. They go try and set up for the next hard point. They weren't even really able to take another crack at Bridge.
Arcides still has some bombardment to use as well. Must have missed when he got those streaks. Now Pristini slides on into 2 players. Silly now on the pinch. He's still staying alive top bedroom. This could be a great turn of events now as Arcides has Plat. Silly's in bedroom. There's only 1 player and he's choked out. What a retake from eUnited.
Yeah, how frustrating is that for the other side? You're Red Reserve. You can't get into Bridge. You're like, screw it. Let's give it up. Let's take control of Plat and Lower Street. You enjoy that for about 5 seconds, and then eUnited just bullies their way through. You still have a bombardment to work with on the side of eUnited. eUnited back in the lead, and potential to rack up a lot more time here on Lower Street.
Arcides, the body block right there from Urban and Joe gets 2 kills. Clayster still on the hard point. eUnited back in the lead, and they've got spawns for the new hill as well. They've just got to keep control of those. This could be where they swing the game in their favor.
Yeah, the last 60 to 80 seconds here between Bridge and also Lower Street were very, very good for eUnited. It's the reason they're enjoying the lead. Now the pressure on Red Reserve. You're trailing in this. You know the spawns are ready for eUnited at the next hard point. You need to break through.
Do they use a streak? Doesn't appear so as of yet. Can we go over to Pristini, please? I want to see exactly how he answers back to this. Yeah, look, streaks coming in. Now dead. Nice Trinity rocket from Shawnee. And here comes the flood now from Red Reserve.
This is exactly what you needed. Give eUnited a little bit of their own medicine, and they bust through immediately. That's back-to-back hard points, and yes, streaks are involved, but where you just can't hold. You're set up so nicely. That's why streaks are so important on a map like Retaliation.
It's brilliant stuff. Doesn't get much easier than that. We talk about streaks. Arcides, time for his bombardment. Unfortunately, players from Red Reserve really able to get out of that one. Only 1 kill comes in. Still 30 seconds on this hill. eUnited have a green light to push on through, but Shawnee still the difference maker. 3-piece again. He's now 21 and 15.
Please go to his screen. He's got 6 in a row. He's looking to earn some more streaks, just barely off the reactive armor. So think about it. You use the Trinity rocket for Red Reserve, which is going to get you a full 60 here. Arcides brings the bombardment in, and due to Shawnee's hold, they're going to get nothing. Maybe just contest for a few seconds. That's all you're going to get. Okay, I'm sorry. They're going to get the final 5.
If Red Reserve win this hardpoint map, can we say that, to start off day 2, so far they've been the best-looking hardpoint team? Is that the point we're at right now? I got to hear from the analysts if that's a true statement, because
I'm incredibly impressed with just this series overall.
Yeah.
But they haven't won it yet. Not out of the woods. Still a very tight game.
Can't call it too early.
Clayster trying to find kills inside a hotel hallway. As he's trying to break across, Arcee's got him behind. Silly found Joe.
It's a big trade.
Now you're set up nicely for eUnited.
Look at how good this spot is. He can lay down behind cover, still collect this time for his team. 25 seconds left on this hill. You do not want to give up all this time if you're Red Reserve. You're trying to surge on through. There's 2. Make it the 3rd. Arcides is last alive. Can he be the hero for eUnited?
Can he make a play like Urban did the last time through? Similar spot. Where Urban found 2 kills and got the opening. Arcides gets cut down.
Tied game. We're about to have a tied game at the end of this hill.
Rated playing in the close corner. He's now earned his camo.
Oh my God.
And look how tight this is. 2-13 for eUnited, 2-11 for Red Reserve. And now it'll be a battle in the hallway.
Arcides 2 minutes and 13 seconds inside the objective. Shawnee, look at this flank. He's taking a page out of Joe's book. There's 2 for him. Gets the help from Joe. Cleans them both up. 221 to 214. Red Reserve can win it on this hill.
Shawnee gonna drop before he uses that reactive armor. Payload's going to be so crucial here down the stretch. 3-piece for Arcides, as he's now working towards some more streaks. Scare him out.
eUnited cannot win off this hard point, but they would be very, very close. Arcides just trying to stay alive. Now 2.5 minutes inside the objective. What a map from him, doing whatever his team needs him to do, whether in S&D, sorry, planting those bombs. Now in hardpoint, sitting inside the hill. No one else on his team has even eclipsed a minute.
Rated has to be the man we watch due to that camo being available. Just about to crack the 240 mark. They can't win it, but like you said, they can get darn close here, but Pristini gets in behind.
At least stops the last few seconds. So eUnited not hopping in this hard point as of yet. 241 to 232. Rated still has his active camo. He will pop it now to go for the retake. Let's see how it works out for him here. Scarab ready to go. Pristini spotted him. Only able to get one. eUnited in the hill, and everyone's spawning out from Red Reserve. Clayster, he's already pushed up. There's one, nearly the second. I think eUnited are going to take this.
That buys you at least 5 or so seconds here. Pristini now with the camo and only need 5 more. Wins the first gunfight, wins the second gunfight. There's the final tick. It had to be a game 5.
You called it from the start. Clutch plays from eUnited. They almost bait out that hill. They don't go in it right away. They let Red Reserve charge towards them. Then they all show, get the kills. Clayster on bridge, pushing towards that bus, must have been so annoying for Red throughout that entire map.
He did it so many times,
yeah.
Man. So many times, just bought his team's time. Even when he didn't find kills, like the damage he was putting in, the way he was slowing down any attempted retakes. Brilliant stuff from him. Arcides also stood out. He had, what, 2.5 minutes to go in the hard point. Everybody really going big from either team, as close as they come for hard point.
Ridiculous where the series has gone. 21 seconds in hardpoint in map 1. Around 11, 1 kill was the difference in game 2. The uplink insane defensive plays was a 2-point difference on that map. And now 4 seconds in hardpoint. This is as close a series it can get, and it's just match 1 of 4 today.
On one side, you got Clayster, Mr. Game 5. On the other, Red Reserve. All they know is Game 5s. Who's going to take it? We'll find out after this quick break. Red Reserve has played in 3 series this weekend. They are now entering their 3rd Game 5.
Really?
It's wild, man. It's the story of this squad, but God, I don't know. Who are you giving the edge to here? I heard you yell out to Merc. Who's he taking, did he say?
Oh, no, you didn't hear him. He said, I am.
Oh, okay.
Didn't add anything to the broadcast. That's why I wasn't going to bring it up.
Well, it's going to be throwback. We saw it once already for the uplink, which was a 4-2 victory for Red Reserve.
Look at how close that whole series is.
That's actually, it's crazy. It's got to be one of the closer series we've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Every single game, so tight.
Listen, there's some storylines, some history between these players. Go back and find the VOD from PSX. It got a little bit salty there. But now this is where Red Reserve can really kickstart themselves this weekend. Speaking to Clayster earlier, he was talking, saying, you know what, Jack, we go 2-0 today. We have 1 team lose here, and we're already qualified. Well, that dream can be dead right now if Red Reserve can go ahead and secure this map 5.
It's offense first for eUnited. Silly just trying to get an angle with this K-bar towards mid-map.
This is always what they do.
Hasn't spotted anything yet.
Look at that. That's what Silly does. He just wall runs, checks middle. His job is to watch all of mid.
Rated answers back. 3 versus 3. Bomb has been planted. Looked like Rastini was waiting for the push, but Arcity is actually the one finding the next kill. Now under 30 seconds to work with. Arcity finds one more. Arcity, I believe, finds all 3.
Goat Cities.
Goat Cities. I like that.
Wow. Oh, he didn't even get the kill.
Ah, it was close.
All right, forget it. His name's Arcities again. He's trash.
Big round, though, from Arcities and eUnited to take the first round.
So I'm still figuring out like how this works for teams in middle, because Silly just does this wall run. There's like openings where a player can like hit that underpass and it's kind of open. We also saw eUnited get exploited a couple times yesterday by leaving open their field push and getting flanked. Obviously that was just 1 round, but we'll see what Red Reserve do to adapt as the game goes on.
Well, they peeked over towards B side, saw something they didn't like, and now a first blood towards Clayster.
What didn't they like? 2 players at back lemon ready to fire down onto the site. That's what they didn't like.
Rated now. Easy bomb plant. It's going to put pressure on eUnited in a 3 versus 4 to try and make a play. Arcities on the hunt. Look at the stack at back blue already they're going to have to deal with. Should be running into each other momentarily. First gunfight goes Silly way. Second, he is traded out. Pristini, though, putting the balance back in their favor before Shawnee answers. Arcities had a great round 1, tries to clutch up here. Couldn't get it done.
Great shots by Shawnee to snap right onto the ERAT of Pristini to make sure he doesn't get traded on out. We'll see it again from Rated. Shoot right through that baseball fence, as now it's 1-1 as we head into round 3.
It's a great round. You like it? They go to the bomb site. They don't like the stack they see. I'll wrap it back out. Clayster gets picked early. And like dominoes, they fall. Solid stuff to bring it back to 1-1. Let's see if Silly makes a similar play on offense this time for a first blood.
Silly. This time they do decide to change things up and actually focus towards middle. Let's Clayster see. Oh, Shawnee has his number right now.
Yeah, I would not be repeating
He's dead.
that. Joe gets it. So the opening first bloods, a lot of on these brick wall runs. Joe now, 2 in a row. Silly and Pristini, the only people left for eUnited. Ton of time on the clock. He's able to at least win 1 fight, but now Silly in a 1v2. Arcities in a similar situation last round. Can Silly clutch up? He has had some ridiculous kills so far this weekend. Wins the first, but the second there to trade it out. Joe and company get it done.
Red Reserve keeping each other close, making sure they always have a trade opportunity. You see it again there. Look at Rated. Just knows he's got to help his teammate. Doesn't hesitate. Picks up that final kill.
I feel like we're deserving of around 11 after this series. Every single map going the distance. Can they do one more? Back and forth thus far.
Every team has shown, both teams have shown a lot of strengths and weaknesses too, right? Like you've seen areas where they can absolutely improve. Which is what I love to see.
Clay got picked off first last time from this position as he started to get forward. This time they're flooding him. He's just got to get away with his life. Can't do it. Again, Clay gets picked on this side of the map.
Raided with the K-bar, exposes him there. 4v3. Another number advantage on offense for Red Reserve.
Bristini locates a kill. Arcidy's trying to tack one on as well. Sees one at the back tree. He went up high. He's gotten him weak. Can he finish it? He can't fly due to the positioning you have from the other Red Reserve members. Finally, Shawnee soars out. Bristini there to pick it up.
That, Shawnee?
I don't know, but Joe, the lone man now.
Did he think he had to check the bomb? I don't actually know what I just watched.
Batman.
Yeah, 1v2. Joe, he's now dead. That, I actually want to ask Shawnee what his game plan was there, because flying straight up into the air with 3 people pre-aiming with ARs doesn't seem like the best strat.
I mean, sometimes those situations you kind of end up being the bait and ends up working out. We see that kind of strategy used in Hardpoint from time to time, but there he drops and the kills all go the way of eUnited. Silly, the final man on the kill cam. Joe comes out, peeks, thinks he might have to pick somebody off a bomb. They know right where he is, and he gets gunned down.
Still close. Still as close as it can get, as these two teams look so evenly matched. eUnited and cooling down from yesterday. Red Reserve looking to continue to improve. They've just got to win these game 5s, man.
Yeah, maybe for some people this has been a surprise from Red Reserve. Obviously, I get that with how good eUnited looked last night, but this is a Red Reserve team that just got top 8 at Anaheim, a huge open event. They are very, very good, and you're seeing every bit of why throughout the course of this series. Urban had a one-shot player he could have finished there. He's not able to tag him up.
I think a lot of it comes down to, people worry about the lack of practice, how much it hurts teams like that. Well, obviously right now, Red do look good. Still 3v4 retake, now 2v4, and that for me kind of seals the deal. Yeah, the rest will fall shortly after. eUnited now up 3-2.
Back and forth we go. You just got to feel like the next round. It's Red Reserve's turn.
Yeah, right? That's what S&D in game 2 was.
Yeah. Clayster, though, everybody getting shots in Urban there before he falls.
These rounds, these teams on offense, they're getting first blood on a plant, and it's so tough for defense to retake from there.
Silly has FTL to work with. I believe he was 50 off of a Scarab as well, if that might come into play. Clayster from this position. Look how much he's mixing it up. He's been using him before over there, trying to K-bar, getting picked off.
Silly just went to the opponent's base. Look where Silly is already. We're 14 seconds into the round, and he's actually in their spawn. Ooh, Clayster. He just said, "You look dashing in red, Rated."
That's exactly what he said.
I think that's what he said.
Yes.
I have a headset on, so I'm just going to guess.
The karma there. And hey, you got to think about, like, he struggles so much on that side, right? He's been first blooded twice from there.
Yep.
Pulls out the karma, plays a little bit differently, and then you clutch up. And that's scary if you're Red Reserve, because we know what happens when Clay gets in that mode.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in game 5.
Well, it was almost like Red Reserve saw a ghost. They 3-hit middle. Silly went top train, FTL to their underpass, and just got to their spot.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Once he starts feeling himself, man, things get terrifying. He's now 5-3.
And look, they just say, forget it.
And is this actually 3 rounds in a row that for eUnited?
I'm wondering if they did that too fast. I'm wondering if they just did that too fast. Red Reserve are ready for this. I wonder if they saw in the kill cam Clayster immediately turn and go to run.
Shawnee going big for the squad. Silly, though, from eUnited gets dropped. Red Reserve win a 3v4. That's a big one.
I don't know what that just was. Maybe that was just a brilliant blind call from Red. They say, let's retake over middle map. We think they're going to rotate, but the only thing in my mind where they could play that so confidently was that they just see in the kill cam from Clayster him just immediately turn and dart back towards the spawn.
And what a response for Red Reserve. You hear Clay getting hyped. He has the round ending kill cam, finding 2 kills, opens up the next round with a snipe, and then you clutch up and win a 3v4 like that. Those are momentum swinging plays.
Oh, yeah.
In a huge game 5.
4-3, Red Reserve keeping this one close. Clayster, if they just play a little bit passively here, yep, he's going to get absolutely shredded by Shawnee. Red like a book.
First blooded now 3 times.
I mean, that karma, it's literally just, if there's someone there, you're dead. What gunfight is he winning right there? If they push anyone towards field, he is dead, and that's what happened right there.
Scarab out right now for Arcides. He's looking for more information. Red Reserve has the advantage right now. Pristini taking.
Silly yesterday would have challenged that and probably won the gunfight.
Probably would have. Somehow, they know where he is. How does Joe get shot in the back? Like, how does that happen?
I don't.
You know he's pushing for blue?
It sounds like you're yelling at me, and I feel uncomfortable.
Frustrating. But Bristini still up. Very close to the camo. He'll get picked off in bowling. Arseny's picked off in bowling. Urban going huge, and this is about to be a 4-4 game.
Silly trying to work on a second FTL jump of the game. He's halfway there. About to be a 4-4 game. Ooh, okay, Rated lives with 1 HP. Wow, this series, man, I love it.
I'll tell you what, Shawnee has been good, man. I know everybody has stepped up at times, and we've seen Rated a hell of a lot of times in the final kill cams in this game 5, but at some point it feels like everybody on Red Reserve has gone big in this series. You know, Joe struggles in game 1, ends up going large for them in the uplink. Shawnee's been consistent throughout the series.
4-4. This changes the landscape of the weekend. If Red Reserve can clutch up this game 5, everything will be shaken up. Everyone will be in contention. As now, again, they go back to the strategy that worked earlier on for eUnited, which is a quick plant. Centurion will go for that objective. Urban uses the FTL to stay alive. Nice reaction time from him.
Sick stuff. Just to keep playing his life. Joe, the first one trying to entry. Ooh, got somebody kind of running off the wall on the opposite side. He catches a nade, but just narrowly able to survive. Rated, there's the first blood. He also earns camo for future rounds. Back and forth we go. 2 players up. Joe's on it. Joe's on it. Joe is on it. Not going to get there in time.
Red Reserve. It is so smart. Just do it. Just go for it.
I just love that this was a conversation last week on the desk. Like, no one ever hops bombs. No one hops bombs. They have showed all weekend we will hop it every time if the opportunity presents itself. Heads up play from Joe. He got caught, what, within a sliver of doing that in game 2? Here he gets away with it. What a round for Red Reserve.
3 straight now for them after the incredible Clayster 2-piece with the Karma and middle map. Talk about fighting on back. They're now 1 round away from taking a ridiculous 5-game series.
And remember, Rated earned that camo. Clayster can't get picked again, man. He can't.
Oh my God.
They're gonna fly at him. They're gonna fly him. They got him weak. They dropped him last time. Remember, it was Rated that picked it up after he got tagged.
I'm actually surprised he's playing around a plant.
This time, yeah, they're just gonna take the plant. Rated hit with attack, but still up. Here's the camo. He's gonna push him. Clay, first blooded again.
Thankfully, Rated getting a little bit overzealous. That actually gives Pristini, I think that gave him the camo.
And not that Clay had a chance in that, really, but it's been a tough search. There's some of the early bits of this round.
He didn't see it.
He didn't see it. He gets picked off. It's Urban with the kill.
Oh, my God.
Arseny's so weak, just trying to stay alive. Like, silly, you gotta look over me. And that's exactly what he does. Shawnee, now the lone man. They've got to get away. It's only 12 seconds.
He's got to check bottom blue. Is he going to check the time?
He gets it! He gets it!
Shawnee is elite. What a play there. Cuts him down in time. And Red Reserve will take the 5-game series in dramatic fashion.
I'll tell you what, that final round could have been a whole lot less climatic if it wasn't for Silly going huge. Arseny is just getting peppered with bullets, hiding behind the sandbags. Silly goes enormous. He just needed to kill Shawnee a half-second faster. And that's a round going to eUnited. What a series victory for Red Reserve. That is so huge. We talked about the fact that they just need to go 1-1 today. Now you're looking like, hey, maybe they can go 2-0. And this makes the group so much more interesting already on day 2.
This was a Red Reserve team that lost only a game 5 to Splice, which is why they find themselves at the series loss. They're now 2-1. We now have eUnited at 2-1. We're about to see Rise Nation obviously play next against Splice, which if Rise win that, I don't even want to know what's going to happen this week.
Red Reserve, we're halfway through day two. They've already played 15 maps. Like, I think they're going to set a record for maps played during stage 1 and stage 2. But guys, that does it for us. Hope you enjoyed the match. Ben, guys, what do you think?
Thank you very much, Maven. Thank you, Jack. Kind of hit the nail on the head right there. Red Reserve, 3 games, 3 game 5s as well. They are keeping us on the edge of our seats, that is for sure. Of course, that is their 2nd win, of course, 1 loss as well. But a fantastic series and a great way to really kickstart day 2. We'll break that series down now for you. Of course, it all started with that hardpoint Scorch. And this was one Red Reserve, they did start very, very well. And Shawnee, who's been a key part of the entire series, Merc, was just so good at breaking hills.
Yeah, there was a few times, I believe it was on Drill Hill, and then that last turbine, we were able to see him. He got a bit of a fortunate spawn. It was just, you know, eUnited was breaking and he's able to spawn up. But there was his time, his timing with reactive, he doesn't use it. He allows his team to break that last turbine. That really propelled them to win the game. And then again on drill, eUnited was on a bit of a roll, and he spawns out towards that turbine side, and the rest of his team on the other side of the map. Just plays it so smart, just waits for his team. Just great decision-making from Shawnee.
It wasn't just Shawnee, of course. Momo, towards the very, very end, Urban making some fantastic plays.
Yeah, really, really strong. I think that's another hard point where the team that got outslayed won. But Urban, the thing that a lot of people did miss was when he was over on Turbine, he makes a kill just on Prestini. It's any average kill, but at the time, Prestini has camo, and he's put right to the opposite side of the map, so he's so far away. When he does get back, who kills him? Urban. He gets tagged up, he FTLs away as the camo is used, and basically just turns, kills him there and then. And that kind of solidified the map for it. But I've got to give it a shout out to Shawnee. He just played phenomenal through this first map. Again, bit of a slow start from Joe, though.
Obviously, we talked a little bit about Shawnee being fantastic at breaking hills. Red Reserve as a whole, in terms of Hangar, they got outscored on it, Teep, but they still were able to break it and keep that pressure on.
Yeah, one thing I want to note as soon as this replay is over is we look at this box score here. You look at Red Reserve. They invested so much and got so many points on Turbine, and that's great. But I think the biggest thing is, yes, eUnited beat them on Hangar, but the fact that Red Reserve was able to break and just stall enough of that time. A lot of the time on this map, on Scorch in specific, you see one team have a lopsided victory on Turbine. We go over towards Hangar, and then the points sway into the other team's favor. So the fact they're able to keep it within 20 points or so is so impressive. That's why they're able to extend that game out so far. And then, like you guys touched on already, the clutch plays with the payload. Shawnee getting those first bloods on hill break attempts is just so impressive. I feel like a lot of players would just rush those scenarios with the payloads, trying to make some sort of hero play. Shawnee knows he needs to wait for his team. Clutch plays, great map overall, though.
Red Reserve go 1-0 up in the series. Then we go over to map 2, a Crusher Search and Destroy. And this one went the distance, gave us a round 11. It does go in eUnited's favor. But one of the key things to really note was the A bomb merc. There was just so much action over on that side of the map.
Yeah, typically when we watch this map, usually it's this B bomb site, but so many times these guys fought on this inner bomb site. Red Reserve a few times just trying to get that defuse when eUnited was attacking. Then eUnited, they attacked that bomb site. Are sniping inside. I think that was sort of a huge talking point, but a great search and destroy overall. I think this was the best S&D we've seen in a long time. Both these teams just going back and forth.
It definitely was. And, there's a couple of key moments. Silly's clutch FTL kill on Shawnee when Shawnee was going for the quick bomb hop. Managed to just keep that game at a big distance. It was 4-1 at the time resulting from that play. But, of course, it was just so back and forth, Momo. I mean, Clay sniping as well is another topic that we should touch on. I feel like we talk about it every time we see him play Search and Destroy. It seems to so often come up.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Clay is he's so great because he's so versatile. He can use, a Karma, a Sniper, a K-Bot, and an MV4 all in one map. And that's what I love about it. But sometimes when I think, he'll use a Sniper, and on Crusher in particular, he was picking up kills with the pistol, and he managed to pick up a K-Bar. But I just felt sometimes he was a couple of steps behind the rest of his team, and I think when he changed the MV4, it was a lot quicker, it was a lot more fast-paced, and I love that. And when he does have the MV4 in hand, I don't know, personal preference, I prefer it. When he pulls out a Sniper, sometimes I'm not sure.
Well, it's just that inner bomb site,
yeah. It's sometimes you'll get that first blood. Obviously, we saw it on the most recent map, and then it's like, what do you do now?
But then it's like you have the argument too. He gets 13 kills.
Yeah, I know.
You really question him enough, but I know what you mean. It makes the rest of the team's job so much harder, especially going into A over and over again. So it's really hard to fault a player when he is contributing that much, but is he trading effectively?
Well, they're up 4-1, and then Red brings it back 4-4. I think Red was just like, if he's going to snipe, he's probably going to play that back rock area, but he kept going inside, but they just kept forcing him in.
Then of course, you think, all right, there's 1v1s, 1v2s. Well, if he had an MV4, would he be clutching them maybe a little bit more consistently? It's a weird one, it definitely is, but to your point, TB, if you are playing that well, I guess you kind of got to let him flow, go with the flow, at least that is. But moving forward, of course, map 3, uplink throwback. This one goes in Red Reserve's favor as well. It was a close one. The final score, of course, 4-2. Merc, kind of start the conversation off with you in terms of this map. Payload usage, a little off, it felt.
Well, I think both teams are just playing so great defensively, but yes, at the end of the game, you're going to have Prestini left with camo. Obviously, they were trying to get map control. They weren't able to use it, but yeah, both these teams just were so great defensively. It was so hard for these teams to score. I mean, a 4-2 game, when is the last time we've seen that? But a great job by Red Reserve. Rated had a bit of a slow game, but Joe and Urban and Shawnee really stepped up again in that game. I think Joe was just constantly behind eUnited, slowing them down in middle map.
And to that point about it being just such a low-scoring game, the defensive plays that we saw, Teep, there, it was phenomenal.
Oh, I just love it. Joe just mentioned Joe's flanks throughout Barn was able to keep eUnited so far back in the base, and the offense offensive pressure was the reason that the game was, you know, really swayed in their favor. The fact that eUnited was able to keep this score so far down is very impressive in itself. I feel like that game should have been, I don't know, like 8, maybe 10 points on the side of Red Reserve. So it's cool to see the amount of interceptions that were coming into play, especially at the end of that first half, to keep that game close. But overall, Red Reserve, the slang was so strong. If you can get that drone up towards that lemon side or up towards underpass, there's really nothing that eUnited could really do to fight their way out of the base. So just great plays, great offensive pressure, and for sure. I'm becoming a huge Shawnee fan. The guy's been unbelievable this whole year. You know, some issues with the roster, changes going down, but he's been a consistent slayer and showing it again.
Definitely has. Red Reserve find themselves 2-1 up in the series. You think to a map 4 retail hardpoint, and again another unbelievably close game, 250 to 242. It does go in eUnited's favor as they force a game 5, but really, Memo, the key moment was kind of the last minute of gameplay.
It really was, and you know, you guys are probably going to see this on the highlight reel now, but it basically goes to bridge. And the real smart thing that I love what eUnited did was they didn't jump on it straight away. Just to backtrack a little bit, Prestini gets a ridiculous 2-piece to actually push it to that bridge and get the last 5 seconds on Hotel Hallway. But they just sit there, and I'm hoping you get to see this, and they wait. They wait for Red Reserve to kind of make a mistake, and then they pounce on it. Then they have camo. Prestini gets to use camo on the defense, which is very, very rare. Prime example there, and he can sit here, easy kill, easy pickings. It's only going to end one way, and I think it was that last minute, eUnited all on the same page, really playing perfect hardpoint, to be honest.
Definitely was. Prestini making some big plays as well. You actually noticed something, Teepa, interestingly, in terms of the minimap. They actually turn on, which actually helped Prestini pick up that big double on the second to last hill, and then, of course, he gets his camo from it.
Just to note before I make my point there, that box score is absolutely beautiful hardpoint. Right. Both these teams playing pretty much perfect Call of Duty, just one edging each other out. But the play we need to mention, Momo brought it up early, the fact that Prestini got those kills at the very last second of Hotel Hallway, it was a chain reaction, and eUnited really snowballed that rotation. The fact that Prestini got those kills, they spawned out so far back broken, that allows Clay to push up towards bridge, towards that bus side. He picks up that first blood in the scenario where Red Reserve is trying to break, and that spawning out is just so far away. Prestini closes out with that camo once again. It's just a beautiful chain of events that, you know, I guess was a bit fortunate in the timing of it, but the fact that he does get that double kill, which is so hard to do. I'm not sure if he turned on the guy or what exactly happened, but that's some crazy kills at the last second there.
Then, of course, Red Reserve for the 3rd time this week go to a game 5, and it was kind of ironic because Rated, before the game actually started, was on the desk with us, just kind of having a bit of a conversation. He says, yeah, it's just Operation Game 5. We just got to take it to Game 5. I'm sure they would have preferred to have closed it out 3-0. Of course, they had that chance to round 11 in Game 2, but it does go the distance to the Game 5. And to be honest with you, it really just was fantastic performance from Red Reserve, Momo. They're really making a case to show that they really do deserve to be top of the group.
Yeah, first things first, I love the fact Red Reserve are just jumping on bombs. You know, they're defusing. They tried it twice in Crusher. It didn't play out, but they were slithers away. Close. This time, we saw there, Joe was on the bomb, and I think it was Shawnee or Ray just kind of going, shoot me, not Joe on the bomb. And I love that. He's just a complete distraction. I will say, I think Clay got first blooded 3 times. Wasn't a big fan of kind of some of the plays.
There's one strat particular he does on that map that we've seen a couple of times. It's just where he kind of flies. He pulls out the camera and he just goes. And he's been blooded, like you said, Memo, just so many times.
And I feel that might be because maybe it's been working online and you play a little bit different. They kind of send someone. But generally, you're going to have someone at blue just watching the flank. You're going to have someone, right? Unless they decide to push all 4 towards kind of the A-bomb site and he gets kind of a good rotation on them. But apart from that, I think just to kind of sum that series up, it was just fantastic to watch. I didn't leave my seat. I was glued to my screen. And I think overall there was, between all 5 games, there was like 30 points between the 2 teams. Awesome.
Definitely a good start to day 2 for Europe, with Red Reserve taking a Game 5 victory over eUnited. As we said, that puts both of those 2 teams at 2-1. Up next on the main stage, however, we do have our Stage 1 champs, also from Europe, of course, Splice. They're taking on Rise Nation, and I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts. Merc, I'm going to start with you. We'll take a look at our map set here. Rise Nation, of course, 0-2 coming in. Splice yesterday looked, well, for lack of a better word, a bit disastrous. I mean, how do you see this series playing out?
I think it's another one that's going to go the distance. I just have that feeling every single game today's going to go Game 4 or 5. Rise, I feel like they should probably be 1-1 right now against that first series versus eUnited. They should have closed out those hard points.
Right.
Splice, on the other hand, they just looked not themselves yesterday at all. So, you know, if Rise wants to get back into this weekend, this is one they have to take at that point where we'd have 2 teams at 2-1 and 2 at 1-2, which would be awesome. But yeah, I feel Rise, they have to come out with the fire. We'll see, though.
TP, anything interesting kind of jumping out to you there when you see that map set? Any specific maps you think, okay, this should go either team's way?
It's really tough to call at this point. I think a lot of these teams are just looking very inconsistent when it comes to hardpoint, which is kind of weird to say. Splyce has been, you know, one of the best hardpoint teams, but going back to yesterday, just not looking too strong at all. On the Rise side, though, however, for me, it's all Felony. He was my player that needs to step up today. He takes on a brunt of that slaying power on the side of Rise, and the fact that he was just getting kind of obliterated yesterday just made those hard points out of their favor, allowed those comebacks to happen when they played against eUnited. So if Fellow can step it up, I don't think the maps matter too much to me. What Splyce do we see today? What Felony do we see today?
I think that's the key question, really, that we need answered is exactly that. Momo, is it going to be a great start for Europe overall? Is it a 2-0 start for Europe?
I don't think Splyce lose this series, but like Teep said, I just don't know what Splyce we're going to get today. I'm gonna back them. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. And yesterday maybe was a bit of a one-off, but to get 100-point club twice in one day, it shouldn't happen, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. But if Looney continues the way he was playing yesterday, if Felony steps it up, another Game 5 could be on the cards. This group is insane.
It definitely is. Well, now, of course, our first game concluded here at Week 3 of the Call of Duty Global Pro League presented by the PlayStation 4. Congratulations to Red Reserve for starting off their day with a win, also putting them top of the group. Up next on the main stage here at the MLG Arena, it's our Stage 1 champion Splyce taking on the 0-2 Rise Nation.
Those rings on combo. Back to the back. World champion. Attach is on it. He's on it. Vicento, he's gonna fall. And Attach is gonna get the defuse.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2016